Welcome to The Explainer. You know, we've all been there. You type a question into an AI and get a pretty meh response. Well, today, we're going to change that. We're not just asking questions. We're cracking open the black box to show you how to stop being a user and start being a director, literally sculpting the exact results you want.
Just look at this. The difference is night and day, right? On the left, you get what's basically a Wikipedia entry. Dry, factual. On the right, you get a story, something with nuance. So what's the secret sauce? It's not just about asking a better question. It's about giving way, way better directions.
And that's the thing. It's not magic. There's a roadmap. If you want to get those truly insightful answers, you need to understand the map that exists inside the AI's mind, how it reads your words, how it thinks, and most importantly, how you can actually steer it.
All right, let's dive into level 1. To direct the AI, you first have to understand the language it speaks, and trust me, it's probably not what you think.
Okay, so the whole journey of your prompt starts with this thing called tokenization. See, an AI doesn't see words or sentences like you and I do. It sees everything as a series of tokens. Just think of them as the basic Lego bricks of meaning for the machine.
But what happens when the AI finds a word it's never seen before? It doesn't just crash and burn. It uses something called subword tokenization. It basically acts like a detective, breaking down a weird word like prompt engineering into familiar pieces. That way, it can figure out the meaning from the parts it already gets. Pretty clever, huh?
And this slide just illustrates that difference perfectly. We see a nice, poetic sentence. The AI, it sees a sequence of building blocks. Dragon plus fly, grace plus fully. It's literally putting together the meaning from all these smaller individual tokens.
Okay, but if it's just a jumble of tokens, how does the AI know what order they go in? That's where positional encoding comes in. Because the model processes all this information at once, not one word at a time, each token gets a unique address. This is what tells the AI that the dragonfly danced is totally different from dance the dragonfly. It's what keeps the grammar and the entire structure of your request intact.
So here's the big takeaway for this section. Nothing in your prompt is an accident. Every single word, every little piece of a word, and its exact position in the sentence, it all sends a signal that directly shapes the final result. You're giving the AI a blueprint.
So, we know how the AI sees our words. Let's unlock level 2, how it thinks about them. This is where we go from language to actual logic.
The AI's brain is built on what's called a transformer architecture. Now forget the jargon for a sec. At its heart is a really powerful idea, multi-head self-attention. Just imagine every single word in your prompt, looking at every other word and asking, how important are you to me? This creates this incredibly complex web of connections that figures out the real context. Then, that web gets processed by powerful networks to refine the ideas, while these special pathways make sure your original instructions don't get lost along the way.
And you can think of this attention mechanism not as just one thing, but as a whole team of specialists. You've got heads that are focused on grammar, others that are all about the meaning and the concepts, and even some that are just tracking the position of words. They all work together, analyzing your prompt from every possible angle to get the full picture.
Okay, this is where it gets really powerful. We've seen the parts. We've seen how they think. Now, we're going to learn how to actually steer the whole thing.
This right here, this is the first secret to becoming a master prompter. You can actively guide where the AI pays attention. The words you choose, the way you structure your sentences, it all acts like a set of instructions for that team of attention heads we were just talking about.
Let's see how this works with a technique called attention anchoring. The first prompt, it's kind of weak, because the key ideas are just floating around. But in the second one, we create anchors by repeating and emphasizing detective and conspiracy. This basically screams at the AI's attention specialists, hey, this is what you need to focus on. And the result is a much richer, more focused story. Look, great prompting isn't a one-shot deal. It's a conversation. You want to follow this loop. Start with a good prompt, look at what you get back, and then, and this is the pro move, ask the AI to critique itself. A simple prompt like, what are the weaknesses in your last response, can unlock absolutely incredible improvements for your next try.
And finally, for those really big projects, you have to become the AI's memory manager. Don't just dump all your instructions at the beginning. Instead, you got to sprinkle them throughout the conversation to keep them fresh. And if you're in a really long chat, just periodically remind the AI of the main goal. This temporal anchoring keeps it from getting lost and makes sure it stays on track.
So, after all that, what does this actually mean for you? Let's bring it all home.
Once you understand tokens, attention, and context, you make a huge shift. You go from being just a simple user to being a sculptor. You are actively shaping the raw material of the AI's massive knowledge base, guiding its internal thought process to create exactly what you envision. This journey, from just asking questions to actively directing the outcome, that is the real secret to unlocking the power of AI. You now have a glimpse of the roadmap inside the machine, so the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?